Hey, I wanted this to be my review of the Top Fin Intrigue. This is a 2-gallon tank from Top Fin, aka PetSmart's brand. So 2 gallons, this is a hexagon plastic tank. It is not glass. This is not one of their more premium tanks that are glass. This is all around plastic here. Dimensions are 9.4 by 8.2 by 11.3, length, width, height, and that is in inches. So again, this is all plastic, so you have the plastic black top with plastic black trim, combining my words. Then you have the plastic base trim as well, which is also, of course, black. So to me, this is a pretty nice looking tank for being a cheaper plastic tank. You have a feeder flap here, which is very nice, and you won't be able to see it, but it actually does say Top Fin on here as well. Love the feeder flaps instead of it just being open or not having one whatsoever. Having the door here prevents your beta from jumping out, which is nice. And let the water drip off there. Reason for that is because it is now colder outside and the heater is working. I do have I believe it's a 50-watt heater in here. It's probably a little bit high for this small of a tank, but it does the job quite nicely. But that will always make it drip from the hood. So this does have, sorry to blind you all, 3 LEDs. They are color changing. Put that back. Because they are the color changing LEDs, you actually have 2 switches here. So you have this one, and then you have the standard turn on and off. So this one turns it off or on. When you turn on, it will automatically go to changing between the 4 color LEDs. In order to stop that, hit this one, hit it twice, and it'll change to the standard white LED. Hit it one more time, and it'll go back to the color changing. Then you hit it one more time, it should stay on whatever color you have it on. So I'm going to switch it to the color changing here. So the colors are green, blue, the white, and red. So green, blue, white, red. And again, it'll just switch between them if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can make it stay on one certain color. I usually just keep mine on the standard white. But it's cool to have these 4 different options in a cheap tank like this. So there you go. There's those different colors. And of course, in between those colors, you actually get a little bit of different coloring. Like there you saw kind of like a pinkish. Like here you have like a green blue, and then it turns into green, yada yada yada, so on and so forth, right? So again, that's just out of the same 3 LEDs there. The filter is the standard Top Fin element filter, and that comes with a two-way filtering cartridge that just has your floss and your carbon or charcoal in it. So your mechanical and your chemical filtering. There is no biological filter in these tanks. It comes with these tanks. So you just have the 2-way filter instead of a 3-way. Of course, you do get biological filtering throughout your entire tank, since biological bacteria, the good bacteria, goes pretty much on everything in your tank. But there's no special filter for the good biological bacteria to, manifest on, so to speak, if that made any sense. This does 12 gallons per hour. It is not adjustable. It sounds pretty strong for a 2-gallon tank, but it really isn't. It's pretty much perfect. It doesn't push the beta around or anything like that, and it actually does do a decent job at cleaning the tank. And you can see, hopefully see, you have to have a minimum water level there. It doesn't want to focus, but that's where those lines are. And then of course you have the intake there. And then the output is there. Again, it is not very strong, but it does a good enough job. Alright, so there's a bit better picture now with the light back on. You see the water, it's moving, but it's a little bit stagnant. But again, it keeps it clean. Again, this is a small tank, so it doesn't have to be too strong. Actually, being for a beta, you prefer it not to be too strong, as it would push your beta around if it were too strong. So you don't want to be doing that, because that would stress out your beta, of course. And I forgot to mention, but I have my female Hawk beta in here. while I condition her. Then next to her I have my male Hawk Beta, a top fin Imagine 2.5 gallon. I will leave a link to this actual tank, so that way you can get the actual pricing for it from PetSmart's website. But when I paid for it, it was like $20, somewhere around $20. So it's a cheap tank. Again, 2 gallons, more tall than it is wide or long, but you know, it's a decent looking tank. And it's cool again with the 4 color changing LED lights, which again are red, blue, green, and then this, which is white. This is what I always keep mine on, for the most part at least, 99% of the time. And you can see there's more than enough room to add in a filter. You know, mine's actually a decent sized filter. They also make 50 watt filters that are like heaters. I don't know why I said filter. Heaters that are about half this size. So more than enough room for that. And you can see I have a giant moss ball on the bottom there, and then some stones, and a stone that's made to look like a tree trunkish on the bottom there. So more than enough room to add in some decorations. Just don't go too crazy, as your beta does need some room to swim. Yeah, so I actually really do like this tank. Again, I wish it was 2.5 gallons, but with those dimensions, it's actually a little bit deceiving, because the dimensions are actually a little bit bigger on the width and height than they are on the Imagine 2.5 gallon, but not as long as the Imagine 2.5 gallon. So I don't really know how they got that 2 gallons instead of 2.5. And then this has 2.5 instead of 2. They seem very similar in dimension wise, but it's only supposed to be 2 gallons, so that's what we go off of. And that's from PetSmart's actual website on the tank. So again, I would recommend this tank. Again, I do wish it was a bit bigger. I would probably recommend the Imagine over the Intrigue just because of that half gallon size difference, and they are pretty much the same price as well. It's just if you were to go with the Imagine, do not use the divider that comes with it, as then it'll be way too small for your beta. But yeah, I would recommend this tank though. I'd probably give it about a 7 out of 10 stars. I've had no issues with it. It's not been leaking, no cracks, nothing like that. Again, the filter works. Everything works like it should. The LEDs are still working just fine for me. You know, they do switch between the different colors. So overall, I would recommend this tank, especially for around $20. Makes a decent beta tank. Alright guys, thank you all very much for watching. Do stay tuned for more videos. See you all next time. Goodbye.